Hi, everyone. I think we're live. Welcome. I'll share the link to join the Zoom on YouTube for those watching on YouTube. Okay. Hi, everyone. Dante here. Hi, everyone. Thanks for being here today. Appreciate you joining the stream or tuning into the YouTube video. And just a reminder that all of the YouTube videos are streamed live, or not every single one, but these are streamed live, and you can join on Zoom when you tune in real time. I put the Zoom link in the comments, and if you want to be informed as to when these streams are happening, you can go to dantestarshine.com, and on that front page, there will be the email list that you can sign up for. Make sure it doesn't go into your spam. There's lots of goodies to check out on the homepage, including 2 channel books that I've released, and I'm working on some more projects in the midst of my travels through India at this time. I'm going to be doing a Panchakarma traditional detox program that's pretty deep healing with a lot of herbs and medicines and different ways to clean the body out. And I know it's a period that they encourage you a lot to rest, so I'm not, and for that reason, and as well because of the question of how the internet's going to be, I'm not sure what the next month will be looking like, but you can definitely stay tuned as I will get back to a more regular streaming schedule in the new year after this beautiful chapter. So check out dantestarshine.com. That has information as well on sessions and ways you can give back to support these streams. Just going to dive in. And for those viewing live in Zoom, thanks for being here, and feel free to ask your questions. Beginning once the Pleiadian Council opens the space for questions, and maybe take about 5 to 7 minutes for your question, and then allow space for others to ask. And we can also have the questions typed in the chat box on YouTube or on Zoom read after that point. And please make sure you're muted when you're not speaking. I think those are the ground rules, and I'll see you on the other side. Hello, and we say good day to you at this moment of your time. We are the Pleiadian Council, and we thank you for allowing this transmission to take place. It is a gift and a blessing for us to be able to interact with your world. And it is as well our intention that these streams allow you to raise your own vibration, to tune deeper to the vibration of unconditional love, to allow for a planetary and intergalactic healing process to continue in our relationships, to continue to grow and deepen. So, with that, today we would like to share the transmission we have called the inner balance point. The center of your being is your heart, positioned between the 3 upper chakras and 3 lower chakras, positioned between the left and right arm. The very center of your being is where you tune into source energy. And this is why we share these messages with you. The core is that once you learn how to tap into source energy, you will be directed by your own source to learn in the ways that are relevant for you, and allow your own intuition that is interrelated with this source in the way that you come to know it in your heart, to guide you, to support you in all of the ways that are relevant for you. To do this, it's as simple as acting on what your heart guides you to do. You know that through the force of love. It manifests as many different experiences in this heart center of excitement, of enthusiasm, joy, passion. This drive calls you towards the things that are relevant for you. Though love itself is not the complete essence of source. Love is used in your modern language in so many different ways. We have to specify that it is unconditional love that allows you to tune into this source consciousness. The unconditional aspect of it is just as much important as the love aspect. And this unconditional love is why you have free will. Free will means that you are given unconditional choice in all situations how to respond. This unconditional energy is also what can allow you to tap into true neutrality, as that is deeply connected with this heart center. Because without this attitude of total unconditional acceptance, total neutrality, the heart cannot remain open. This conditional love is a force that creates polarization between the two sides of the spectrum. And balance is about recognizing that both sides of that spectrum are one. So balance in the heart is the balance between the lower and upper chakras, as we've said. The lower chakras keep you here in this material plane and are very much connected with those animal nature desires, connected to your survival, connected to your pleasure and your sense of connection to the physical world around you and the people in it. The upper chakras connect very much with your spiritual essence, as well as your mental essence. This is connected with your perceptions beyond the physical realm and into the realm of imagination, ideas, and conceptual understandings. Many become driven by either the lower chakras base nature or their attachment to energy in the upper chakras. Through putting too much of your energy at one side of the spectrum, you lose this balance in your heart. Your heart is what allows you to stay present to all of the different sensations and movements through your body, and movements of imagination, fantasies through your mind, and allow yourself to witness with love, witness with acceptance, witness with ease. And as you allow yourself to stay grounded in your heart in that way, you come to realize that all of these experiences can be used to serve you, can be used to better you, can be used to support you in being more unconditional in your love and sharing more of that unconditional love with others and with the world around you. For some, this means allowing themselves to step more out of their head, step more out of the ideas that they've become attached to, the concepts of how life has to work and what their own attachment to their dreams and their visions and their goals might be, and be more present in the moment. For others, it might mean breaking free from attachments in their lower chakras and allowing themselves to not be so caught up in the comings and goings of pleasure and pain, of ease and resistance, and instead use the sensory base experience for some sort of a higher purpose. Your heart allows you to move back and forth between these higher and lower centers, as all of the different situations in your life will ask you to rely more on intuition at different levels. In other words, sometimes it's necessary to be very grounded in your lower chakras and listen to your gut as your intuition, while at other times it's necessary to be more cerebral and use some of your psychic senses, some of your more clairvoyant intuition to assess things from a higher perspective. Then in your heart is where you can balance this core feeling in your gut with the visions in your mind. When a pathway, a choice feels aligned at all three of these centers, that is when you know it is the right path to take. You cannot rely only on one of these centers of intuition, because if you do, you will be forever imbalanced on that plane. If you were to rely slightly more on one than the other, the heart is more wise. This is why we've called this the center point of balance, the inner point of balance, rather. Because naturally the heart is balanced towards holding the perspective of the gut and holding the perspective of the clairvoyant intuition, both in perspective. Through its connection to both in the center, the heart allows your mind to know what your body is experiencing and vice versa. The more you bring your awareness here, the more your intuition expands to include all of the information that is relevant for you. And by continuously coming back to this center and feeling that Source's love is always present there, whether or not you are experiencing what you have intended, whether or not you are experiencing pain or pleasure, whether or not you are in line with all you have set out to manifest. When you tune in to the deepest place of your heart, you will feel that unconditional presence of Source, that unconditional love that is the source of all within you. And the more you are guided by this, the more life will open up miraculous windows of opportunity around every turn. So we thank you for allowing us to share this message with you. And now we would ask, in which ways can we be of service to you with any questions you have at this time?
Hi, Pleiadians.
Hello, yes.
High vibrational harmony. I'm wondering about the intent of the Pleiadians and if there's an agenda that Pleiadians have with regard to the human species and our planet.
our intention is to welcome you to an intergalactic alliance. For as this intergalactic alliance expands, so does the love between all of its members. So does the shared knowledge between all of its members, and so does our shared support for each other in expanding our well-being and protecting each other from any malevolent forces that exist in this galaxy. We and many others who are a member of this intergalactic alliance do support planets in crossing the threshold into being both aware and connected at multidimensional levels and open and balanced to be in established contact with beings from other planets.
Okay, that's understandable. I think that we all feel that as long as it's a peaceful contact experience intention, that we're happy to welcome open contact here on the planet surface, if that be something that you'd want to do. And
Yeah.
I understand that I have hybrid children to meet at some point. I'm looking forward to it.
Oh, they're looking forward to that as well. And we can assure you that our intention is only peaceful. We act out of love, knowing that all acts done in love expand our own connection to the source. While there is much for us to learn and ways we may all benefit, we are also in that path of coming into deeper connection with the source, raising our own frequency in that way. And this is a way for us to do that.
Excellent. Thank you. I'll yield to the next questioner.
All right.
I see there are questions in the chat. Did someone want to read those for you?
Yes, that would be fine.
Michael, do you want to read those or should I?
No, go ahead if you're feeling excited for
it. The question number one comes from Matej. It says, Bashar has mentioned that Pleiadians should be the first ones to open contact with humanity. Can you share and describe more details how this will happen?
It's not necessarily set in stone that we will be the very first yet, though the first wave of sightings will happen, or contact experiences of a more face-to-face nature are set to be underway sometime between 2029 and 2035. At this point, for as your own frequency shifts, the window of contact is always shifting. As people get more accustomed to our frequency through experiences like channeling, through experiences like sightings, and they feel the connection and have let go of much of the vibration of fear that holds you back from these meetings. There will be times at which more massive sightings occur that are undeniable to the extent that they cannot be covered up and erased in the ways that they have been in the past. Through several years of time, as this information becomes more accepted and the energy of fear around this possibility lessens for you as a collective, then there will be face-to-face sightings for small groups of people that eventually start to be shared in various ways as well, leading to more official announcements by the governments of the world and the first meetings and sharings of information and ideas openly between our worlds. We may or may not be the first. It is still up to many different factors. It's a matter of what humanity as a collective chooses is their preferred style of contact.
Thank you. And you may have already answered this person's second question, which was that Bashar has mentioned that we have greatly accelerated contact. How did that happen and what have we done? You just mentioned excitement and releasing fear. If you could also comment, we mentioned mass sightings. We have had some massive sightings in New Jersey recently. They're calling them drones, but UFOs sightings. Can you talk about who those crafts belong to? Thank you.
Releases of fear and a more direct attunement to the energy of one's own authenticity and excitement on a collective level is rising. People are being truer and truer to who they are. And regardless of what your beliefs are, those acts of being true to yourself, authentic to yourself, is a big part of this raising of your frequency. This allows you to release a lot of fear. And yes, it may also accelerate the rate at which you learn lessons. Though when you have mastered this energy of neutrality and you know that you can use all of the experiences you have in a positive way, even these lessons will come to serve you very much in the continued raising of your frequency. So that's a big part of the process. And in turn, it is true that more and more people are getting acquainted with the idea of UFOs and UAPs, as you call them, being shared by your media. And more people are becoming curious and optimistic. And the more the collective energy is tuned towards the idea of extraterrestrials in a positive way rather than in a fear-based way, the more likely it is that this contact that has been set into motion quite a long while ago finally comes to manifest. Yes, it is inevitable. It's simply a matter of time and choice. Because again, you do vacillate between accelerating the process and bringing it closer and decelerating the process and postponing it. Eventually, it is sure to happen because your world is in a state of transformation. It is volatile at this time, and predictions are not as easy to guarantee as they were in times at which things were more stable in your world.
Of course, as Bashar says, it's always now, and we are now in contact with Pleiadians through you. So we're currently experiencing contact, aren't we?
Yes.
Thank you.
And also, go on with your question. We will simply say, remember that contact happens not just through channeling, but you all have your own connection to beings, perhaps from extraterrestrial realms, and certainly from multidimensional realms. And every time that you have an experience with them in dreams, through your own meditations, through your own practice of channeling, that is also leading to open contact. And it's open contact occurring in the moment it happens.
Thank you. I see the next question in the chat says, from Path of the Master, I'd love to know Thoth's history and lineage of reincarnations, and if time what, if any, relationship or connection he has to Jesus?
Yes, Thoth was a very powerful being that incarnated at different points to bring about the survival of certain records and the teaching of information to those to whom it was relevant, to preserve this information, to carry on a thread of knowledge across your time. Thoth existed as well in Atlantean times and had several incarnations there, presiding over the ancient councils and working with crystals, sound, and physics, which were deeply connected at this time and will be in the times to come. Thoth also had extraterrestrial connections with the Syrians and actively engaged in those connections in some of his incarnations. His most known incarnation in Egypt allowed for this soul level memory from Atlantis and from Sirius to manifest certain texts and certain ideas that would imprint the temples and those beings present at that time with the information necessary for times like now on your planet. So is also very much connected with the being Saint Germain and the esoteric knowledge he has shared with your world.
Was there a connection with to Jesus? Did you mention that?
Not directly, though you could say that some of the orders, like the Essene order that Jesus studied with, was connected to Thoth's teachings and what he brought into the world in his times. So the energy of Thoth lived on through Jesus, through his integration of those materials.
Thank you. And I apologize, I don't remember if you answered if the UFO sightings in New Jersey and Pennsylvania were related to a specific race of ET beings, if that's known.
Some of them were hybrid beings. Others of these reports were actually government craft that some of which were designed after the crashed UFOs that they have discovered. So there are similarities between some of the craft that is already operated by people on your planet and that extraterrestrials are using.
So some of them are reverse engineered, operated by human beings, and some of them are extraterrestrial hybrid beings that are visiting us.
Yeah.
What else might we do to engage with the hybrids? I think people have been shining lasers at the crafts to say that we recognize them. And I saw a video of someone saying, "Hello, ETs, we love you, we welcome you, as long as you're not trying to trap us," and things like that. What else might we do to engage with them?
The most powerful experience would be an inner telepathic experience, to greet the beings in your own heart, to play with the idea that what you are seeing can see you, and imagine establishing this telepathic connection in the moment, seeing how the craft that you might see could respond to your thoughts. And also, this sort of connection can be something that leads to encounters actually taking place. When you play with these beings by asking us to come, to present ourselves to you, by saying that you are ready, listen to your intuition and be ready to observe the sky and see our response. This will help you very much. Though, of course, you have to maintain your frequency at a high vibration level. Allow yourself to be living your own passion, living fully present in that passion in each moment. And the chances of these encounters happening will be high.
And there's also
Thank you.
there's a cool question on YouTube I'd like to read, which is what is the mechanism by which negative beliefs can be changed through observational meditation alone without any intentional change of negative beliefs mentality? Thanks.
Meditation allows you to take control of your own focus. And by focusing your attention in a specific way for a period of time, less of your attention and energy goes into the negative belief, and more energy and attention goes into the positive core of your being and allows you to break free from the grip of that energy. By tuning into your body and into your mind and observing the workings of the negative belief, you allow it to naturally release. The process of meditation works through that neutral active observation by allowing yourself to observe completely all of the beliefs that are working through your mind and the ways that they are manifesting in your body, and suspend judgment, suspend resistance, simply witness them and focus on maintaining a neutral awareness. The pent-up energy of the beliefs and the way that presents as electromagnetic sensations and energies moving in your body, the way it manifests as emotions, tension, all of this will also gradually ease up. In order for you to do this, one of the simplest things you can do in moments throughout your day when you find yourself caught by the grip of a negative belief that's holding you back, that's causing you to be distracted, that's causing you to feel fear, sadness, regret, or remorse in the moment and interrupting the flow of your positive actions. Allow yourself to bring all of your focus into where you're feeling that sensation in your body and visualize white light flowing into that part of your being with your breath. Allow yourself to feel the sensation completely while letting go of trying to figure it out mentally, trying to control your thoughts. Simply notice the thoughts. See the thoughts that are connected with these feelings for what they are. The more you get to know the thoughts that cause this experience of tension, and the more intimate you get with the tension itself, the quicker you release your resistance. You cannot force your tension to go away. And meditations or practices that attempt to force the tension to go away by ignoring it and focusing on something else, by pushing it out forcefully with movement or shaking or intensity of some kind, generally work to push those emotions and those beliefs deeper into the body, because resistance creates more stuckness. Resistance instills that which you resist at a deeper level. Instead, focus on acknowledging the tension and acknowledging the beliefs at the root. And the more you surrender, the looser their grip becomes. Then you can follow up these practices by choosing positive thoughts, not out of fear or resistance, but through knowing that positivity ultimately will serve you more.
Very cool. I also have a question about fear and anger directed toward a specific person. We've obviously seen in the US with the elections how much hate and anger has been directed toward the candidates. So I was curious if you had any permission slips or suggestions if that anger or that hate can be transformed or utilized somehow.
Well, when it comes to hating another person, the most powerful thing that one can recognize is that this energy is only arising out of some level of projection, some level of denial. Hatred can only be possible when this denial emerges through a lack of compassion, through a lack of clear sight. You may sense that other people have it all wrong and are the bad guys. But when you deny that the same negative quality you see in another exists within the human condition, and therefore it is part of your energy as well, you prevent yourself from feeling that unconditional quality to unconditional love. Only fear makes this possible. Perhaps you cannot see in yourself the potential to act in the ways that you deem others, in this case, political figures, of acting. But you must see the potential within yourself as well. If you see politicians as greedy, manipulative, or evil, allow yourself to see into that universal condition. Allow yourself to see that as part of the human condition, and know that at the root of all of these cruel acts is ignorance. Know as well that whenever you project anger and hatred onto others, that energy comes back onto yourself. You cannot create any sort of violence without also harming yourself in the process. In these cases, when you commit mental violence against others, you disconnect yourself from the unconditionally loving source within you. And this prevents you from being as fully calm, as fully free, as fully nurtured in unconditional love as possible. So realize that it doesn't serve you, it doesn't serve the collective either to be living through this energy of hatred. Hatred serves to divide further, to create a spell of ignorance that makes people think that others are the problem and I am different from them, rather than recognizing the inseparability of self and other, rather than recognizing the interconnectedness of all beings, the oneness of all beings. The more that you come to know this oneness as unconditional love in the center of your being, the more you will feel the slightest deviation from your connection to oneness cause suffering, cause pain, cause tension and resistance in your being. And the more aware you become of these slight shifts, the more you will choose by your nature to move away from these energies of violence. And yes, mental violence is a real form of violence as well. Though it's understandable in some regards to seek to protect yourself from those oppressors and for you to remove oppressive forces from power. It need not come with hatred, nor need it come with the incentive to physically harm anyone. Instead, when your desire to be subversive comes from a true and genuine motivation to better the collective and the whole, then any subversive action can be helpful. But when you are free from hatred, you will also be free from your violence. And instead of being acts of aggression, you can act simply by dismissing the forces of fear and greed and violence in your world that you don't prefer, and aligning with true love for self and others equally.
Very beautiful. Just a follow-up question to that. Can you talk about the difference between feeling sorry for someone versus having compassion for them in this instance?
Being sorry for someone is one of the first stages of compassion. It leads to compassion in many cases, but it opens a potential pitfall of allowing you to maintain a sense of separation from them. When you are sorry for people and you feel above them or beyond them, or that their pain is worse or better than your pain, you live in a state of division. You have to recognize that their pain is your pain, and the fact that you can feel it proves it. You have to recognize in a true state of compassion that all are one, and that the condition of suffering affects all beings. And when you recognize this, you are open to a deeper sense of love and connection to others with their pain. This is a true state of love. When you feel sorry for someone and you feel bad for them, you are creating a sort of disconnection despite your good intentions. You, in that sense, looking down on them and feeling as if you have to protect yourself from your connection with them by pushing away their pain, doesn't allow for the deepest level of love and compassion to be served. When you move towards their pain and your experience of it with love, then a true sense of compassion is experienced.
Beautiful answer. Let's see if there's some live questions from the Zoom. Otherwise, there's another YouTube question, which is how many minutes of barefoot walking per day should we aim for at least? And how long does this last for with our health?
How many what?
And how many minutes or how long does the effect last from walking barefoot?
For what method?
No, how long does the effect last when you walk barefoot?
When you walk barefoot. Oh, yes. Sorry, we couldn't quite understand. There was a slight disruption. The effect lasts depending on how long you are in that deep connection with the earth. The greatest effect takes place through the reduction of free radicals and positive ions that takes place as you allow yourself to be deeply directly connected to the Earth's magnetic field. Generally, after 15 or 20 minutes, that reduction and that connection serves you for the next 24 hours, but that is a bare minimum. It takes 4 to 6 hours for there to be a significant increase in the charge that takes place in your body as you disconnect yourself, walking with insulated shoes or far from the Earth's natural layer.
All right, thank you. And there's another question about what spiritual significance can be derived from the recent declaration and lifting of martial law in South Korea.
Can you say that again?
Yeah, if there's any spiritual significance that can be derived from the recent declaration and lifting of martial law in South Korea.
It's an expression of the tensions that can arise in these times, as there is a lot of political unrest. You may see different sorts of resistances and rebellions that take place in this next year and over this next decade. It's simply a shifting of powers. And sometimes in the case of existing conflicts, things get worse before they get better. Though over time, they are generally headed towards peace.
All right, thank you. And there's one more question, is how does the jobs we have until retirement affect the themes and challenges of our lives?
Does the job you have before retirement?
Yeah.
Well, if you're already retired, your life theme is in the present. While you are working, your life theme is in the present. And we want you to remember that your theme is vast and varied. The theme of your life cannot be generally summarized by one or two words or ideas. Over the course of your life, you are learning many different lessons. Though, yes, in ideal cases, your work is in alignment with what you are here to learn. And what you are here to learn is very much connected with what personally excites you. There are the outer expressions of that excitement, of that passion, of that joy and love that will shape exactly what you contribute to the world and who you connect with. Though there is a certain level of universality to lessons, experiences like detachment and focus and neutrality and compassion are unique lessons that are universal to the human experience. And everyone will have to master those themes in their own way to graduate, quote unquote, and be a more high vibrational soul and exist in more love-based realities. Though the way that each soul will come to learn those lessons is unique and is far beyond the preferences they have and the individual things that excite them. And sometimes you will share your integration of those lessons of wisdom with people who are having a far different path of excitement or far different career than you are. And finally, we would say, though, that for some people, their work is the most exciting thing in their lives. For some people, it is just an exciting thing. You all have your own way to arrange this. And as long as you are experiencing that passion, that enthusiasm for life through some of what you do, it doesn't matter if you derive more or less of it from your work. For some people, their greatest excitement and passion comes through other ways of creating, of serving, and connecting with others in your world.
Very cool, thank you. And then a follow-up to the thing about compassion. Would it make sense to think about what the potential positive intentions have been behind the actions of the people that have generated hate or anger, and then think in terms of honoring them for those things, and just in general for sort of being a catalyst that way, and making a bold choice of showing up on Earth, so to speak.
Well, that's absolutely helpful and part of the process. When you understand what motivates others, you will be given a great view into how the human experience functions. The mirror of others will help you see your own intentions far more clearly. And to get even deeper than this, you can note how do I have the same sort of intentions as others do in my own life, in my own experience? And then you may see that the way that other people are attempting to fulfill their intentions may simply be misguided by fear, by indoctrination. But nonetheless, people are doing what they believe serves them most. And this also serves you very much in allowing yourself to engage with these people that you disagree with. You have to know their intentions, and you have to know what their values are and appeal to their values without demonizing them for the ways that you are different.
Very cool, thank you. I don't see more questions on YouTube or in the chat, so anyone in Zoom wants to ask a live question before we finish up? Doesn't seem like it, so on behalf of everybody here and everybody who's listening and watching, thank you so much for showing up. It's been absolutely great.
We're also co-creating this interaction and connecting with us at this time. And we would like to point back to our original message and share that this understanding of having compassion and watching your own tendencies to be mentally aggressive or judgmental towards others as part of how you can create that energy of balance within yourself. The more you get accustomed to the reactions that arise in your body as your mind wanders, the more you will start to see that the same sort of tensions arise when you judge or condemn yourself and when you judge and condemn others. By directing your awareness more towards those sensations and those energies and those feelings, and using your awareness to transform them into unconditional love, the more you will be able to stay in balance, both when you meet others who disagree with you and when you fail to meet some of your own expectations or come into some sense of inner conflict yourself. This compassion is necessary for you to develop trust in yourself and trust in the higher forces of the world, of the universe. And by allowing yourself to be more compassionate with others, you may also let go of the fear response within you. Gradually, as the fear response in your world is lesser and lesser, you will be able to meet beings like us face to face and hold your heart open in love, despite our vast differences and despite the ways that you might feel overwhelmed by this energy. So we thank you for allowing us to share with you, and we wish you a fantastic rest of your day then.
Very cool, Dante.
Great, thanks for being here.
Very cool.
Hope you guys enjoyed the transmission. Yeah. It's a bit early for me to start the day with the transmission here, but I think it flowed pretty well. And I appreciate everyone for being here. If anybody wants to share anything before we go, you're welcome to say hi in this Zoom chat here.
Just saying we appreciate you and the transmission. Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you so much too. So again, if you haven't caught the whole video from the beginning, you can stay tuned to when these transmissions will happen by subscribing to the email list on DanteStarshine.com. And I hope to be getting back to being more regular, though it might not happen for the new year. But until we meet again, I hold you in my heart and hope everybody has a really beautiful end of the year and holiday season.